Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great day. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today I get to share with you an LDRS Creative project, actually two of them, and we're going to be using a stamp set called Hot Chocolate. I've used it once, and actually I started creating my tutorial and found that my camera wasn't on, so I'm going to do a redo. Also I'm going to be using the little Raven ink cube from the Cobblestone mini ink cube set, and then also this die set. It's called Scalloped Rectangle. And so these are the projects we're going to use today. We're going to jump in. I wanted to show you without the ink what the stamp set looks like. Super cute images. I know it's a little bit hard to tell with that black ink on there. I did find that the Raven ink does stain your stamps. It doesn't harm it whatsoever, but it does stain them. So I wanted to show you a picture of what it looked like without the ink. Okay, we're going to jump in. I have a piece of Nina 80-pound cardstock. It's great for Copic coloring. We're going to color in our images with Copic markers today. I grabbed the little girl holding the hot chocolate mug. She is super cute. And I also grabbed the sentiment that says hot chocolate cold nose. Super cute. Place them on our cardstock, and then I'll grab my ink and we'll just ink up our images. The Raven ink is a hybrid ink, so it's great for watercoloring, Copic coloring, and it's a thicker ink too. So I found that I have to stamp it a few times. The Raven ink does come in a larger ink pad in case you guys are interested too. But we're going to stamp one more time, this time using the little snowman in the stamp set. We'll place him on our cardstock and we'll just ink him up. Now I left the coloring in. Since I am coloring with my Copic markers, I'm going to play a little bit of music while I color. I'm just going to zoom in the camera here, and we'll start off with the little girl with the hot chocolate. I left my caps out for you guys in case you want to know the colors, and as soon as the music is done, I will catch you back. Okay, both my images are colored in and super easy to do. Um, Now I'm going to zoom back out and I'm going to actually do a little fussy cutting and then a little bit of die cutting. With the snowman, I'm going to grab my Scalloped Rectangle Die Set and I'm going to take the smallest frame in it, smallest rectangle frame in it, and I'm going to use that to cut out my snowman, this one. I was going to cut out my little girl, but I spaced the sentiment a little too far apart so she wouldn't fit in my frame. So I'm just going to trim off my sentiment and then I'll just fussy cut her out. But I am going to cut out my little snowman here. Okay, I'm going to grab another piece of white cardstock and I'm going to use the largest scallop frame. Actually, it's not a frame, it's a panel. And I'm going to cut out a scallop panel here. This is so pretty. And there's a piece that you could put on the inside of your scallop die here, and this is going to cut out a second decorative edge, and it creates a very beautiful panel. You can see here how pretty it looks. Okay, now I want to trim down my sentiment, but I wanted it to have the same fancy border as my snowman, so I'm going to use that same die and just cut that out, run that through my die cut machine. Okay, I'm going to take my anti-static powder tool, go over a piece of Strathmore Bristol smooth cardstock, and we're going to stamp some snowflakes on here. I'm just using my Versamark ink pad here. And I had a little bit of, I didn't clean my stamp off very well, so the ink is transferring, so it's a little gray color. But I went with it, and since I'm using white embossing powder, I was thinking it would just cover it up. I'm just going to go over my snowflakes with my white embossing powder. Lovely. We'll grab our heat gun and go ahead and melt all those snowflakes. Lovely. Now for my background, I'm going to use some Distress Oxide inks. I have a Stormy Sky and Tumbled Glass. We're going to do a little bit of ink blending, starting off with the Tumbled Glass. For this panel, I'm going to create 2 backgrounds for my card today. So it's going to be a multi-purpose background. I'm going to go over the top and bottom using my Stormy Sky. Lovely. Now I'm going to take the same inside piece, the smallest rectangle. I'm actually going to add some water droplets to activate a little bit of that ink. But I didn't let it sit very much, so it didn't do too much. Just added a little bit of something. But using that same die that I used for this panel here, I'm going to cut out 2 frames with that distressed background. I was trying to figure out how I was going to get those snowflakes behind my snowman, and so this was my solution. I'm going to fussy cut around my snowman, but I am going to leave that bottom portion of my panel there. That we have that decorative edge. And then I created I wanted to keep a white snowbank on the bottom, so that worked out great. So here's where I'm going to take the die and cut out 2 panels. Now one of them is going to be for my snowman, and I need to stamp my sentiment, and I'm going to stamp it on the snowflake background. And I learned my lesson a while ago that I need to be careful with my placement because I didn't want to stamp over my snowflakes. So I made sure I found a spot that didn't have the snowflakes. And we're going to use the sentiment that says Winter Magic. I'll just place this panel along with my snowman and my mini Misty, and then we're going to grab our sentiment, find a nice place for it, and I'm going to raise it up just a little bit. And then using my mini Raven ink cube, I'll ink up my sentiment, and that one is ready to go. Lovely. We're going to flip over our snowman. We are going to add some foam tape behind him. Great way to add dimension. And then he's going to go on our snowflake background. And I love the softness of this little guy. Super cute. I'm just going to add a couple pieces of foam tape behind my panel, and we'll work on the next one. I went ahead and adhered my little girl with the hot chocolate onto the sentiment piece. And then I'm going to take some baker's twine that I have in my stash. This is like a cross between an orange and a yellow, almost the same color as her sweater there. So I looped it around twice, and then I'm going to tie a bow to the right. And then we added foam tape behind her, and we're going to place her on the snowy background. And I have to trim a little bit more of my foam tape. It went on one of those circles. Okay, we'll add some foam tape behind here, and then we'll take our panels and we'll go ahead and remove the release paper and then place our images right in the center. And I just love the way, even though there's, well, technically there's 3 layers, but the 2 layers just create such a beautiful dimension to my card. I love this. Okay, I added a piece of fun foam on the back side. We'll place our panel on an A2 size card base that's 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. We'll do the same to our little girl. And now we need some bells and whistles. I needed some sparkle, so I grabbed some Nuvo glitter drops. This is White Blizzard. I'm going to go over my snowflakes and then the little greenery that's on my snowman. Give him a little bit of sparkle. And then the snowflakes, and then the little marshmallows and my little girl. My little girl's hot chocolate mug. And then I did add a few dots in my background as if there was snow falling. To brighten up her little eyes, I'm using my Uniball white gel pen. And that completes my 2 projects for today. Super easy, especially when you have a real pretty die set like this. But I thank you so much for joining me, guys. If you're interested in any of the products, as always, I'll leave them below for you guys if you want to check it out. But I wish you a fantastic day. Thanks so much for stopping by. We will see you again soon.